Hello everyone, my name is Mordecai. Welcome back. This week I'm going to cover something pretty simple, and it's a question that I've been getting a couple times when I join lower level games to help some of the newer players out. And that is, what type of heroes are actually worthwhile, what's a good build, and that type of thing. And I get that question quite a bit actually in some of the lower levels. So what I would like to do is start with the basic heroes, the ones you can get without any type of event or an expansion hero, which means they've been added to the base game, but I'm going to start with the ones that were there from the beginning. So I'm going to start with soldiers and work my way down the list, and we'll go from there. But this video is going to primarily focus on the soldiers, so if that's something you really don't care about or don't really need to see, feel free to skip the video. So with that out of the way, I'm going to jump right into it. Alright guys, I'm going to start with Support Specialist Hawk, and just as a disclaimer, this is totally opinion based, so take what I say with a grain of salt. But to go ahead and start out, he gets his 3 abilities, which the first one is War Cry, the second is Frag Grenade, and the third is Going Commando. Of the 3, War Cry is definitely the strongest in my opinion, just because it not only buffs you, but it buffs your entire teammates. And speaking of buffs, all soldiers actually, get 2 baseline perks, and they are Suppressive Fire, which means you're going to stack damage on a target until you switch, and the other one Stay Frosty, so that after 3 eliminations you get a base 10% damage increase as well as stability until 7 seconds runs out or until you run out of eliminations. But with that out of the way, his standard perk reduces Warcry energy cost for 1 star, and when you get up to a 2 star it reduces it all the way down to a 75%. In my humble opinion, this is not worth it, simply because you're not really energy starved as a soldier. So I hate to say it, if you like the look of him, use him, because you can really use any hero, but in terms of his actual perks, I gotta give this one a pass. Alright, next up we got Survivalist Jonesy. For his, you got Shockwave as his first perk, first ability, Frag Grenade as the second, and Going Commando as the third. Shockwave is definitely something that's really nice on a soldier in case you get surrounded, so if you've got that, keep that in the back of your mind if you're getting surrounded by the little guys. As far as his perks, he's actually, in my opinion, one of the better ones. Survivalist as a 1-star perk gives you 39 base health over 3 seconds when you eliminate a target, and his star 2 and above gives you 117 base health over 3 seconds, and this ability will constantly keep refreshing every time you keep killing targets. So every tick, basically, you're constantly restoring health until you run out of eliminations. If you are having trouble surviving in this game for whatever reason, and you happen to have a Survivalist Jonesy, I highly recommend you use him either as your primary commander or even as your secondary, because it may not seem like a whole lot of life. You'd be very surprised at just how much that will tick each and every time. So keep that in your mind if you're having trouble surviving. He is definitely somebody you want on your team. So if you got the flux, research him. Highly recommend him. Really good soldier. Alright guys, next up is Urban Assault Headhunter. Her 3 abilities are Going Commando, Shockwave, and Frag Grenade. Again, Shockwave is something I still highly recommend on any soldier. Going Commando is pretty nice for many bosses depending on the modifiers. And small history lesson, before the hero rework, Urban Assault Headhunter was honestly the best, if not top tier soldier you could get in the game, which was actually pretty nice considering she came with the base game. And even after the hero rework, she's pretty good, so let's take a look. So 1 star, you get Make It Rain, so every time you get a headshot, your headshot damage goes up by 4% for 2 seconds, up to 5 stacks. After level 2, 2 star and above, you get headshot damage as 4%, and fire rate goes up by 9% for 2 seconds, and it stacks 5 times. So your headshot damage goes up by 20% at the 5th stack, and your fire rate goes up to 45%. So that's insane. If you've got like a fast weapon or even a slow one, you can make it super fast if you're pretty good at hitting headshots. This is another one that can be really good also as a sniper role if that's something you really want to do. So highly recommend her too. Alright guys, Special Forces Banshee is up next, and she gets Warcry, Frag Grenade, and Going Commando. Again, Warcry is something that's really nice on a soldier, and it's particularly nice on Special Forces Banshee because of her perks. So I'm going to click over here and I'm going to show you just what I mean by that. And it's because Fight or Flight, between what's basically 1-star ability, Warcry grants an additional 8.5% weapon damage and 8.5 movement speed. However, when you get her to 2-star and above, Warcry grants 25.5 additional weapon damage on top of 25.5 movement speed. So basically you're taking your Warcry and making it supercharged. She's kind of like I would call her a really nice support role. So 25.5 on top of the 45, you're looking at 70.5 damage right there, weapon damage increase for the entire team. Not just her, but everybody else. So if you're looking for more of a support role and do damage, Special Forces Banshee is your gal. Definitely somebody you want to pick up if that's the type of role you really want to look into. Alright, up next is Shock Trooper Renegade, and his 3 abilities are Shockwave, Frag Grenade, and Going Commando. And you'll start to notice a trend with a lot of the heroes in the game, well, not all, but a lot like to base their perks around a particular ability that they use. And Shock Trooper Renegade is no different. His perks are revolving around the Shockwave ability. So when you go over here, his standard 1-star ability or support role ability is Decrease Shockwave by 24%. And if he's your commander and he's a 2-star and higher, then you decrease Shockwave cooldown by 56%. That's huge if you're constantly getting surrounded. So what I mean by that is, let me click over here back to the abilities. Shockwave normally has 25 seconds. You're basically reducing that a little over half. So I'm just going to throw out a number of 12.5 seconds. It's actually a little lower than that, but that's what you're actually going to be looking at. So if you're constantly getting surrounded and you need Shockwave, this is your guy. I mean, he's definitely somebody who's pretty nice too. Not as strong as some of the others, but definitely nice. Alright guys, Sergeant Jonesy's up next, and his 3 abilities are Going Commando, Warcry, and Shockwave. And again, Shockwave is great for when you get surrounded. Warcry is great for buffing your entire team if you need to fight a mini-boss or something else. And Going Commando is nice, again, for mini-bosses, depending on what modifiers it has. And much like the last guy we just looked at, Sergeant Jonesy's perks directly affect one of his abilities. So his standard perk is Ain't Done Yet, and Going Commando duration is increased by 5 seconds if he's a 1-star, and if he's a 2-star and above, Ain't Done Yet Plus gives you Going Commando for a duration of 20 seconds on top of what it already is. So again, this is huge. If you've ever been in a game where somebody has a really long minigun, you know what? At the end of the video, I'm going to put one together just to show you what this is really cool, especially in the lower levels. But basically, you can have about a 30-second minigun, I believe it is, because I think it's originally 10 seconds. On top, if he's a 2-star, you get 20 seconds. So I believe, you know what, before I tell you wrong, let me go over here and let's make sure I'm telling you correctly. Yeah, last 10 seconds, so 10 seconds plus the 20 gives you 30 seconds worth of minigun at a 100-second cooldown. That's huge. That's really cool, especially when you're like in a really bind and you need to burn something down or a group down really fast. Alright, next up, Rescue Trooper Ramirez. Her 3 abilities are Frag Grenade, Shockwave, and Going Commando. Again, Shockwave, really nice one. Going Commando, really nice one. Frag Grenade, I can take or leave. Perks, her standard perk, so 1-star, is going to be Assault Damage. It's increased by 17% from there. If it's 2-star and above, meaning she's your commander and she's above 2-star, you get 50% additional assault weapon damage. That's huge if you're using anything, you know, the SCAR or any other type of assault rifle weapon. So if it says assault rifle in the title, you're getting an additional 50% just for using her as your main commander. And spoiler alert, she is hands down my favorite soldier to use. As a matter of fact, she's my main soldier. If I play a soldier, it is her. Strictly because of that ability, because basically take your damage, times it by 1.5, that's your new damage when you use her. So highly recommend this one too. Really nice, solid hero. Alright, we got Commando Spitfire up next, and his 3 abilities are Going Commando, Frag Grenade, and Shockwave. And to save you the boring stuff at this point in the video, I'm not going to keep going over, you know, if they're good or not. You've heard me already, unfortunately. But I will point out that Commando Spitfire's perks directly affect one of his abilities. Going Again is a 1-star, gives you 30% reduction in Going Commando. If he is your commander and he's 2-star and above, Going Commando's cooldown is reduced by 66%. That is massive if you want to make a type of minigun build similar to Sergeant Jonesy. As a matter of fact, these two couple and work together very well. So if one is your commander, you definitely want the other as your support. Simply because the one increases the length and one decreases the cooldown, so you can almost keep trying to spam it. For 100 seconds at 66% reduction, If I had to throw out a number, I would guess between 42 to 44 seconds is going to be your cooldown between each minigun. So again, I'll show at the end of the video him coupled with another one. Alright, Colonel Wildcat is up next. We got Warcry, Shockwave, and Frag Grenade as her 3 abilities. And before the hero rework, I would say she was probably my 3rd favorite soldier just based on how they had her built. But even after the hero rework, she's actually pretty nice to have as a soldier. So we're going to take a look here at her perks. Leadership decreases Warcry by 17%. And then if you have her as a 2-star, and she's your main commander, you reduce the Warcry cooldown by 38%. That is also huge. She's another one similar to how we just had with the minigun. Colonel Wildcat is very nice to pair with Special Forces Banshee. Whether you have one or the other as your commander, you definitely want the other one acting as support. I kind of like Wildcat as the commander simply because it helps you be able to spam the Warcry ability. And there are plenty of other heroes that allow you to slot in there to give you an increased Warcry and reduction and many things that you can eventually get to where I think your Warcry will be on cooldown maybe 30 seconds, if that, and it's really nice. I mean, it's seriously, you can keep spamming it. So keep that in mind. Even these baseline heroes are really nice for later builds or if you even want to make one based around them. So Wildcat, definitely a solid one. Alright, last but not least, the mythic herself, Master Grenadier Ramirez. So for her abilities, you're looking at Frag Grenade, Going Commando, and Shockwave. I'm sure you can guess based on her name that her perk will directly affect one of her abilities, and it so happens to directly affect Frag Grenade. So with all that boring stuff out of the way, let's jump over and take a look here. Bigger is better. Frag Grenade radius is increased by 50%. And that means 1 star, so 2-star and higher, and if she is your commander, your Frag Grenade radius is increased by 150%. To me, I mean, it's not a big deal. If you're a grenade person, she's awesome. Not to mention she has a pretty cool looking skin in terms of her gear. But for me, as a person, I don't spam grenades very much, so it's not really my thing. But if it is, try to get her, man. She's not bad, but not my cup of tea. So now that we've went over all the baseline heroes, I'm going to build that little minigun setup and kind of show you what it looks like before I go into a game just to have fun with it. So I'll see you on the other side. Alright guys, before I jump into the game, I kind of wanted to show this off. Birthday Brigade Ramirez is just a reskin of Sergeant Jonesy, who increased the minigun in terms of the length. And then I've got Going Again, which reduces the cooldown. Boomstick, which increases the damage. Snow and Commando, which throws in some snowball grenades, and then the other 2 I just threw in there for fun. You can get Going Again right now. You can get Boomstick right now during this event if you got enough tickets. Snow and Commando was one of the previous guys, so maybe you'll get lucky and pick him up in a birthday llama when they come up here in the next week or 2. Alright, that's really all I was going to show here, so I'm going to jump in the game and just show you how much fun it is to use this minigun as an extended use. Alright guys, I cut out all the boring parts of me running to the edge of the map, but to show that I haven't changed anything, let me go here to my loadout. My main hero is Going Commando duration is increased by 20%, and then if you look to the side, I'm reducing the cooldown by 30%, damage by 25%, and the Snow and Commando throws in the snowballs. So let's show just how long it lasts and just how fun it is to actually use this. So here we go. If you'll notice right here in the bottom right, my cooldown has already started on my minigun, so even though I'm still using it, it's still counting down. So we'll see just how long I can shoot it, and you remember it was 30 seconds total from when I hit the button, and one of my guys reduces the cooldown of my minigun, so it should probably be right around, I believe it's either 38 or 40 seconds left on the cooldown when this will eventually stop. There you go. Just to show, there's something else I can show, because this hero has Warcry. Warcry will affect your minigun. I don't know if a lot of the newer players know that, but if you hit your Warcry, it's nice, especially if you have mini boss coming in, like I've mentioned before. Hit Warcry, buff your teammates, and when you see the mini boss, hit your minigun right after doing that, because you're going to be shooting your minigun even faster, and it increases that as well. So it's a really nice little boost to it. The little snowball effect is just kind of a fun little thing in there. Plus, they make cute noises, kind of funny. So once my cooldown is finished here, I will hit Warcry and let you hear the difference in the speed. So, alrighty, let's do this.
Booyah!
Warcry, minigun. Hear that difference? I'm shooting a heck of a lot faster thanks to the war cry. And as before, my countdown on the minigun is still going down, so it kind of shows the point that you can use the baseline heroes and actually make some pretty powerful and fun little builds. As soon as this ends, I think I will end the video. I won't go all the way back to the main menu to do my end sequence. So I really hope this was informational. I hope it was informative. Sorry about that. Can't speak today. With that, next week I'll do another set of the baseline heroes and maybe kind of make a series out of that. Again, I hope you found it useful, and I'll cut out and see you next week. Thanks for watching.